Hi, my name is Harry Witchell, and this is an educational video on part of a series on detecting lies and cognitive dissonance. That is, recognizing when people are saying things that maybe they don't completely mean based on body language alone. This particular video, we're going to be looking at an interview with Nigel Farage, which was pointed out to me originally, and I must credit him completely, by Danyal Farsani, who's at the University of Santiago in Chile. Hello, hola, Daniel. What you're going to see in a moment is a very powerful interviewer facing off with Nigel Farage, and having almost completed the interview, he's then going to throw in, as a little extra at the end of the interview, the question about how's your health, as he's trying to cash in on the speculation about Farage's health and whether it was good or not. And in a moment, and what you'll see is that Farage is going to, I don't know if you want to call it a lie, I would say that he was kind of dodging the question, but by answering in a way that maybe he didn't completely agree with. And he's going to do that, and you're going to be able to detect that Farage doesn't believe what he's saying, because he's going to do two things. He's going to bite his lip, and then he's going to smile, a thing called duper's delight. And we'll talk about that in a moment.
We must have a proper debate about this, and we must get back control of our borders.
But your health is okay?
My health is fine, yeah.
Nigel Farage, thank you.
Thank you.
But your health is okay?
My health is fine, yeah.
So what you just saw was Nigel Farage biting his lip, and then after that, he actually smiles a little bit. So what you see here is a muscle called orbicularis oculi, which is being active, and it's often activated during smile. So it's a muscle that runs completely around the eye. When orbicularis oculi is active, it will pull up the lower lid, particularly up here, so it will make the eyes look like they're little crescents, but it will also cause a series of signature wrinkles of the smile right here, so-called crow's feet. What you normally see on Nigel Farage's face is that he doesn't have crow's feet all the time. This is the image showing Nigel Farage with biting his lip, and this is the image of him where he's smiling. So, was Nigel Farage lying in that particular interview? Was he telling the truth? Well, he certainly had this kind of cognitive interference. That is, he was trying to say one thing, which was his health was fine, but he obviously was thinking something else, which was being at the subconscious level, which was given away by his body language. Was he ill? Well, in the interview, which takes place in May of 2014, Farage was kind of a little out of the woods, if you like, from a recent surgery. So in November 2013, Farage had had some very serious surgery, removing several of his spinal discs, or having them replaced. So literally, even if he had recovered from this operation, which is very serious, he was known to have been having problems as late as February 2014, so 2 months before this interview, and he probably was having ongoing problems. In fact, his problems were continuously ongoing up until April 2015, so almost a full year later, when he admitted he was still having problems with his neck.
If I look after myself properly, and if I grow up a bit, and recognise my limitations, and that's what I really hadn't done for the early part of this year, and that's, and people did notice I wasn't on my usual form. I've now got it under control. I'm going twice a week, having osteopathy, and doing my morning exercises, and I'll be fine.
I just want to say outright that as far as I'm concerned, whether or not this was true or untrue, I don't think there's any fault involved here. I think it's perfectly reasonable, given the rights of privacy, that Nigel Farage could, if he chose to, skip over or ignore or fail to answer the question. It's none of our business, nor the business of the media, as to whether or not a politician has a health issue that he does or doesn't want to talk about. So, we need to talk a little bit about what an incongruity is. Incongruity is when the body language and the words that are being said are in conflict. That is, the person may be saying one thing, but the suggestion of what they're otherwise saying is another. So what does this tell us about body language? Well, it does show us a clear example of incongruity. That is, when a person is trying to say something that maybe they don't agree with, or if they have a subconscious thought which is in conflict with what they're trying to say, they will have something else come out. And this leads us to talk a little bit about what kind of incongruities you would expect with lying. A lot of people have proposed, they sort of oversimplified the situation, that when people lie, they touch their face or they cover their mouth. And that may be true for the average 3-year-old child, but it certainly isn't true for more sophisticated adults. What actually happens is a form of incongruity. That is, people make a facial gesture or give off an emotion that is inappropriate for what they're saying. So, Nigel Farage was saying, "My health is fine," and he should have looked vaguely satisfied and unmoved. In fact, what he saw is he was biting his lip. And that means that's usually a sign of anxiety. So let's talk about what the main signs of lying might be. If a person is lying, they may feel anxious that they're getting caught or that they're doing something that's wrong. And in which case, if they feel anxiety or fear, then that will come through in body language through anxiety. They may actually feel guilty, in which case they'll feel sad and you'll see signs of sadness on their face. There's another form of lying called duper's delight, which we saw a little bit with Nigel Farage, in which when you're trying to get away with something, you might take pleasure in the lie. Or you might just feel like you're laughing. You know, there are some people who, when they lie, they can't control themselves and they want to laugh. When people have duper's delight, that means that they smile. Often they almost go to laughing when they're trying to lie. The last emotion of lying is confusion. That is when people have to elaborate on a lie that they should theoretically know about, but they're not really sure. And confusion usually comes out as signs of pauses or delay. So that's it. Once again, many thanks for Danyal Farsani for pointing this out to me. I hope you've learned a little bit about recognizing the signs of incongruity and how that may suggest that people may or may not be telling the truth, or the whole truth as they see it. Thanks and bye for now.